Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we will make a lawn and oval skirt. I'll be using this yarn. It is 100% cotton yarn, 50 grams and about 115 meters. So for the skirt we'll have three main parts. We have the bands, the waist bands, then the oval part, and then a last part which will be a mesh. Start by making a slip stitch and then a foundation chain. The length of the foundation chain will give you the width or the height of your waistband. I'm making 20 chains and that will be about 8 centimeters. Now insert the hook in the second chain and make a single crochet. And repeat single crochets in all the chains. At the end of the row, once you finish this row, chain 1, done the work, and this chain doesn't count as a stitch. So in the very first stitch, insert your hook, make a single crochet, and then for the following stitch, we will not make a normal or a simple single crochet, we will do a back loop. Yeah, so go inside the back loop and make a single crochet. Once again in the next stitch, back loop, single crochet, and repeat back loop, single crochets until you get to the last, the stitch before the last stitch. Once you get to the very last stitch, don't do a back loop but do a single crochet through the 2 loops. So go through the 2 loops and make your single crochet. So for the first and the last stitches, we are doing single crochet through the 2 loops, but for the stitches in between we do a back loop. Repeat what we just did, so single crochet in the very first stitch through the 2 loops, then for the next stitches make back loops until you get to the very last stitch, and there you do not a back loop single crochet but a single crochet through the 2 loops. And we will repeat that until you have your desired length for the waist. And as you're going, keep measuring, stretch and measure to see if you reach your desired length for the waistband. Once you reach your desired length for the band width, then we will join the 2 edges together with single crochets. So insert your hook in the first stitch. For the second edge, go also in the first stitch and then make a single crochet. Then repeat single crochets through the 2 edges until the end. Now let's make single crochets in all the rows. You go across all around, so 1 single crochet here, next row, 1 single crochet, next row, 1 single crochet. At the end of the row, join with a slip stitch. We'll start this row with 2 chains that count as the first double crochet of the row, yarn over, and in that very same place where we just did the 2 chains, make a double crochet. Yarn over, in the next stitch make 2 double crochets, 1, 2. Same thing for the rest of the stitches, 2 double crochets per stitch, and you do it like that until you come back here. At the end, join with a slip stitch in the 2 chains that we did at the beginning. And that is it for this first row. Now make 2 chains. These 2 chains count as the first double crochet of the row, and for this row we will work without increases, meaning 1 double crochet per stitch. At the end of the row, join with a slip stitch, and we are ready to start the next row. Next row, chain 2 like we did previously, and move to the next stitch because this chain 2 counts as a double crochet. Move to the next stitch of the row, make a double crochet. So this is a repetition of the previous row. Make 1 double crochet in each stitches until you get to the end, slip stitch, and repeat again. So repeat that until you reach the level where you want to place the slit for your skirt. This is my last stitch. I'm happy with this length. Let me show you. So I'm not sure you can see it very well, but this is where I got to. I will now start the slit. Now I'm ready to start the slit. After your last double crochet of the row, yarn over and go at the base of the first double crochet where we started the row from. Let me get you closer. So yarn over, and instead of joining to this first double crochet of the row, we'll rather do another double crochet at the base of it. So you see, that's how we are going to create the slit. Now to start the next row, chain 3, not 2, because we are going to skip 1 stitch. Turn your work, yarn over, skip the next double crochet. In the following one, make 1 double crochet. Like that. Yarn over, and then continue doing your double crochets until we get to the other side where we will also skip 1 stitch before the last one. I will show you at the end. So continue with double crochets until you get to the other side of the row. So I have 2 stitches left, yeah, the one before the last one and the last one. So at this stage I want to skip the one before the last one, so I'll chain 1 and then yarn over, come and do my last double crochet on top of my last stitch of the row. So into that last stitch, make your last double crochet. So we also created a space at the end of the row the way we did at the beginning. Alright, so now we are ready to start the next row. For the next row, chain 3, and the first 2 count as a double crochet, the last one, the third one, counts as a skipping chain. So I'll mark the second chain, turn my work, and then skip, yarn over, of course, skip the next stitch, the following one, which is actually the first double crochet of the row. On top of it, I will make one double crochet, chain one, skip the next stitch into the following one, do a double crochet. So for this new row that we are starting, we are leaving 2 spaces, and at the end we will also manage to leave 2 spaces. So yarn over and continue doing your double crochets without skipping anything until we get here again. I am here, I have 2 stitches left before the next space, the space at the end of the row. So I will chain 1, skip this stitch. On top of this one, I will yarn over and do a double crochet, chain 1 again. Now we will skip 1. What we are skipping is actually the third chain that we made at the beginning of the row, right? So yarn over and do your last double crochet in the second chain. Remember, we made 3 chains, so in the second one, make your last double crochet. So we just created 2 spaces at the end of this row. To start the next one, chain again 3, and to help yourself, you can mark the second chain, turn the work, and repeat what we've been doing since. So this time I will do my next double crochet on top of this double crochet, like that, chain 1, and then do my next double crochet. The chain 1 is actually to skip this hole, right? So the next double crochet will be on top of the next double crochet here. I will chain 1 again to skip this chain, this double crochet, and in the next one do a double crochet. So now we have 3 holes, right? I hope we now get the pattern. So the first row of the slit, we left 1 hole. Next row we left 2 holes. Next one we left 3. So that's how we are going to work all around until you get your desired length, total length for the skirt, right? So at the other side, once you reach this side, you also manage to leave 3 holes at the end and start a new row, and keep repeating that process until you get what you want for your skirt as length. Yeah. So this is my last row. I will stop it here. I'm fine with the length that I reached. At this stage, what is left to do is the shell stitches at the end. So chain 1, turn your work, yarn over, and then we'll go on top of the next double crochet and do 1 double crochet, then 5 more, yarn over in the same, on top of this second double crochet, again go inside, make another double crochet, 4 more, So this is 3, 5 and 6. So we have the first shell stitch. Now we will do a slip stitch on top of the next double crochet. So go on top of the next double crochet and slip stitch like that. Yarn over, and we are ready to start the next shell stitch. So go on top of the next double crochet and make 6 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Yeah, we do the same thing on top of the next double crochet, make a slip stitch, and from there repeat again another shell stitch. So 6 double crochets on top of the double crochet that we have from the previous row. So continue repeating the shell stitches and the end of the spaces that we created. So what you do next is, like we did previously, do a slip stitch like that. So I just ended this phase of the spaces. Now to start, let's call it the plain phase. After the slip stitch, skip the next one. Yeah, so I made the slip stitch here on top of this stitch. I'll skip the next, yeah, and then on top of the third one, that's where I'm going to do the shell stitch now. So there I'll do my shell stitch. Well, now I will skip the next stitch, and on top of the following one, that's where I'm going to do the slip stitch. Let me get you close to show you one more time. So I did the slip stitch on top of this double crochet. I will skip this double crochet, and on top of the next one, yeah, that's where I'm going to do the shell stitch now. And then from here I will skip the following stitch. On top of the next one, I'll do the slip stitch. End of the plain phase. Now I'm going to start the space area for the skirt, and let's say kind of, I am lucky my slip stitch is falling right on top of this stitch, and then my next shell stitch will be on top of the next double crochet. But if in your case your next shell stitch is kind of going to fall on top of a space, I mean right on top of the space, I will recommend that you make one more slip stitch to make it easy for yourself to drop immediately on top of a double crochet. And this is my last shell. I will do my slip stitch in this second chain, and that will be the end. And like that, we just finished. You can now cut the yarn. and weave in this tail. Now let's make a cord for the waistband. I will just make some chains. If you want a thicker or a nicer cord, you can watch my previous video, my last video, the one with the backless wrap top.